Started here. Welcome to our Saturday, May 14th trading call. My name is Dave Jordan, the CEO of Valentus, and what another incredible month we're having. A few times here every other month I get asked to do one of these leadership calls and jump on a call and bring some of the corporate statistics to the field and share some of the things that have been going on. So today I chose to do it, and first off, I'd love to say what a time to do it. I mean, a 3 weeks ago, we had a world-class convention in Vancouver, Canada, and, it just absolutely cranked our numbers through the roof since that event. The Valentus family needs to know that, first off, this international convention was so crucial for people to get to meet each other and know that it is a family atmosphere here. It is an atmosphere where distributors are not all in the same organizations, but they can all, share and talk and have a drink and, have fun and do this and that. And I'll tell you, led by Triple Diamond, Corey Johnson and at the convention, Blue Diamond, Ted and Michelle Wilson, absolutely behind the scenes lit it up. And, they worked with my wife Joyce, and Ted, brought that whole incredible event to life. And we just had a great, event, 625 attendees at that event, a lot of great keynote speakers. I know a lot of people on this call were on live stream and they could watch it live, and we had Daniel Rudiger there from the original movie Rudy. What an incredible story he was. And then we had a quarterback from the Buffalo Bills who's now a distributor in the company, Bruce Matheson, but he's also a very successful network marketer, a very successful speaker, and I felt that he was incredible at that event, and a lot of people really fell in love with that guy, watching him talk on stage, and I know a few of our distributors really got to know him and are now, learning and working with him. We also had our very own Double Diamond, Mark DeSalle, who just produced the movie Mother's Day with Kate Hudson, Julia Roberts, and my favorite, Jennifer Aniston. Me and Joyce actually took she was sick here for a week and a half, but we actually took a couple hours last week and we went on a date, and I went to that movie, and it was an incredible, funny, absolute phenomenal movie. And to see Mark's name scroll on that screen in the beginning and at the end, wow, I suggest everybody on this call, take your spouse to go and see this movie before it leaves the box office. Then you'll have to go buy it at Sam's Club or Walmart or on DVD. But it was an incredible event Mark did. And Peggy came up on stage, and she probably had one of the best messages of the whole event with a little board she had in New York, and people were writing on it. And I really looked at that and thought a little bit about myself, too, on some of the things that I never really took advantage of in my life. Well, I'll tell you, Valentus is absolutely on fire, and we are absolutely setting records with this company. At that event, we also had a lot of leadership on stage. A lot of our leaders like Peggy and Chris Lamont and Paul Moore and Corey Johnson that were really, sharing their views and their visions and what they're good at. And I took all that in. And most of these leaders knocked it out of the park. And that's the reason why right after the convention, the last 5 days of the month of April, we did over $500,000 in sales, and it pushed our company to over $2 million for the month of April. Incredible numbers, believing that, last year at this time, we were at, $88,000 in April of last year, 2015, and to go 1 year later, 12 months, we're doing over $2 million. So it's just absolutely incredible. May is right now on a pace to do well over $3 million. And every single month, and this is kind of a neat thing too, over the last 14 months, every single month has been record after record after record after record after record months, where there's more distributors, more volume, more dollars coming in on a record pace month after month after month. I knew that, so this past week I was down in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with a couple very successful friends of mine. And some of my buddies here on the call know these guys, and one of them is responsible for over 80 different businesses in that city, and it's made, hundreds of millions of dollars. And he was down there consulting for me and showing me the best possible corporate office that we could look at. We looked at 12 corporate offices in about 3 hours, 4 hours. And over the next 90 days, we're going to be opening one that we chose and one that we put together. And we got a corporate office that's going to now be able to take this company to $20 million a month and beyond. And I'll tell you, it's a perfect facility for a fast-growing company like Valentus. And I'll tell you, as we expand, the distributors that we're attracting are going to absolutely jump on board like you wouldn't believe. Sioux Falls is also one of the fastest-growing cities in America, and it's got major corporate advantages for being a business in that city. So the numbers have been crazy. The numbers have been staggering. January, like I said, we did $800,000 in sales. February, we did $1.1 million. March, we did $1.4. April, we did over $2 million. This month, we're on target to do, like I said, over $3 million. And all I can say to that is wow. And thank you for everybody that's on this call. Everybody that's on this call that wants to learn, that wants to hear what's going on, that's interested in being a part of the Valentus movement. You know, thank you, because you're the reason why these numbers are going through the roof. And of course, our leadership team, the leaders out there, the people, the teachers, the trainers, the people that don't care if somebody's cross-lined to them and they make a phone call or they help them with a question or they're out on social media and they help them with something. I mean, that's what it's all about. And all I can say is me and Joyce just want to really, you know, extend our thank you to everybody on this call, and thank you to all of the distributors that have contributed into this great movement, and even the product testimonials. If you're not in this business to want to build an extra income or want to make an extra couple dollars or want to make, in some cases, an extra $50,000 a month, you know, maybe you just want to be like myself, and I've lost over 90 pounds with our incredible product line. So, you know, what I want to do today is for those of you that are new, for those of you that have never really heard Dave Jordan on a national call. I know a lot of people say I talk fast, I got a lot of energy, and, you know, but one thing I want to do is I want to tell the new people on this call my story of why it led up to Valentus, why I chose Valentus over my multi-million-dollar sports business, why I came to this company, why I decided that enough is enough, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of an industry that was greedy, an industry that all would do is hurt my friends, and an industry that I walked away from for the right reasons. So all I want to tell you is that if you ever been kicked, if you ever been knocked down, if you ever felt like you know, somebody's done you wrong or deceived you or things that have happened that are challenges in your life, well, I'll tell you what, you know, I've had it all happen to me too, and that's why we're here. And that's why, you know, I've always learned from one person, my mother and father, and, you know, I've always learned that you want to be treated the way you want to treat other people. So, you know, I've always tried to find that, and every time I thought I found it, it would always come back to either hurt me or it would come back to hurt my distributors. It would come back to hurt my good friends. So I've chose to walk away many times. But I want to start out by saying what my story is, that for you for the people that don't know me, you know, my name's Dave Jordan, and I grew up in South Chicago when I was a little kid. You know, when I was 9 years old, my mom and dad moved to North Dakota because I had 4 of my sisters going to the University of North Dakota. And, you know, having 8 sisters, and my mom and dad named them all Mary, my father wanted to be by his daughters, so we moved to North Dakota. Well, the only good thing about moving to North Dakota for me is when I was a little kid, I always wanted to play for the Chicago Blackhawks. But my mom and dad raised 14 kids, and they didn't have enough money to buy me the pads and to buy me the equipment to have me go out there and do what I wanted to do and play. So I would basically play in the driveway with my brothers, and you know, I got into collecting trading cards. I got into opening hockey packs and got into doing all kinds of sports things when I was little, which led me to get involved with my sports businesses, where I've done very well. But my dad was a police officer in South Chicago, and now in South Chicago, it's not very easy to be a police officer in South Chicago. So I'm glad we're not there no more. But now I live in the city, Emerado, North Dakota, where my dad was actually chief of police. So that's pretty cool. But I met my wife Joyce in 1989, and we've been together ever since. You know, she's my rock. People that meet Joyce, they know that that we're together, and it doesn't matter what happens with anything in our lives between me and her, that we're always going to be together. So that's something I think that a lot of distributors at the convention, a lot of people that know me and Joyce personally know that she's my soulmate, I'm her soulmate, and then we'll be together forever. But the real unique part about myself, for people that don't know me, is that I only have an 8th grade education. I was in 7th grade for 3 years because I was dyslexic. And I know my good friend John's listening on here that was dyslexic too. And, you know, we have a lot in common because of that problem. But I was dyslexic, and I couldn't read or write, so I didn't really care because I just wanted to go out and do my own thing anyway. I was a guy in school that always drew a little circle with a V on top and then put a bow on it with an S. And I'd always drop bags of money and do all kinds of crap like that, doodling in school, and you know, just really never really thought it would ever come to anything, but I always did that when I was younger. But what I did was I begged my mom to let me quit school, and I finally got to quit. And right after I quit school, I started my own businesses. Actually, those very trading cards that I was playing with as a kid, I was making more money than my father at 17, 18 years old, trading all over the United States and trade shows, and had my own shop at 18. And, you know, I really got involved in the sports industry. And then in 2003, eBay comes along, and I learned how to read and write through eBay. But back in 1994, I had my one sports store named after my father, who was still alive at the time. A good friend walked into my shop, and he showed me network marketing. He actually showed me network marketing, and I wasn't interested in it at the time. I wasn't interested in it at all. It took him 3 weeks to show me. It took him 3 weeks to get a half hour of my time because I just wasn't interested. But after he showed me that program, I looked at him and said, all I got to do is share a few friends, some soap and shampoo and some vitamins, and I can make a new car. I can get a new car, and I can make some extra income. He said, absolutely. So what I did was I made up my own flyer. It just basically said, you know, don't miss this event, Tuesday, July 19th, 1994. And what I did was I sent it out, and 40 of my friends showed up. 40 of my friends showed up at this event, and I was giving away a $10 gift certificate to my shop. Well, what happened was 25 of them signed up in that company. 25 of them signed up in that company. I didn't even know what I was in. And the next thing you know, I'm achieving the top ranks in that company for senior director level, driving a brand new car. You know, directors after directors after directors don't even know what they were, meant, whatever. Working at 10 hours a week, and I'm the top guy in that rank in the whole company. So the company gave me an ultimatum. They said, you know, you're blowing it out, you're rocking and rolling, and they basically told me that if I either choose that company or my sports business. And, you know, since I quit school, that's what my livelihood was. That's what I did, and that's where I had all my fun, and that's where I was, you know, I met a lot of pro athletes and players, and just going around the United States and getting to shake hands with a Joe Montana, and getting to meet Joe Namath, and getting to meet Reggie Jackson, you know, and Muhammad Ali and Tiger Woods. I was into that, and I wouldn't give that up, and I didn't take them serious. Well, what they did was they terminated me on my wedding day. So I was actually terminated on my wedding day from this company where I was driving a brand new car and having a great you know, life, and it was just a nice check to get extra over and above of what my sports was doing. Let me take a drink here. So anyway, I was crushed, and what I did is I just walked away from network marketing. It was the one experience I'd ever wanted to experience again. Although it was fun, I just focused on my sports businesses, and I went all over the United States, built a multi-million-dollar store inventory through trading and all over the country. If you look at the stock market, I was kind of like the sports card stock market, where I would trade like that, you know, buy low, sell high, and I was always the guy that had a lot of connections with a lot of that. So basically, I rattled that out since 1997 to 1999, and then I get a call in 1999 by a guy named Corey Johnson, and he calls me up, and he asks me about the network industry. He says, you know, Dave, I was talking to a friend of yours, and he said, you know, if you want to get a network marketer to push your business, call Dave Jordan. And so he called me, and I told him no, and then he called me again, and I told him no again, and he probably stayed on me for a good 3 weeks. He was real persistent, and I almost got mad at the guy, but then he kind of said something to me that kind of made sense, and he said, not every company's bad. You know, just because you got hit hard over there, not every company's a bad deal, you know. And I've seen this guy being persistent, and I've seen him really, kind of almost being annoying to me, where I took the plunge and I got involved again. And what we got involved with was a company that working together, I know myself, I put in 2,500 people over a period of 12 months, and the company grew to 70,000 in the downline. And, the next thing you know, you're making good money again. You don't trust it, but you're making good money, only to have the owner of that company run it out of business. He puts the NASCAR on the track. I couldn't believe it. And I just said, you know what? Strike two. There it is, And I just gave up on the industry. I was done. I went back to my sports full time like I was doing then. And, even did a little bit of a radio show, had all kinds of different, hobby stores. I started doing eBay in 2003, and I was just happy, living life, having a great time. And then Corey calls me up again in 2005. And now it's a little bit different of a story, because in 2001, I lost my father. And my father was incredible. I mean, the one thing I got from my dad, where people say, Dave, you're a robot. I said, no, I just got my dad's work ethic. My father raised 14 kids and worked 3 jobs and still found time to watch the honeymooners build a model with me, and, even throw a football or baseball or play a game in the house, used to wrestle all the time, stuff like that. But, it crushed me when my dad died. And Corey come back at me, and Corey showed me a patent on a company, on a product. And it was a product that, when my father passed away, he passed away from throat cancer, and he couldn't talk. So my dad was writing on a piece of paper for me to go out and take some of these buddies I had in some of this industry I knew and go find him a cure. And I couldn't find my dad a cure, And so when Corey came to me with this product and this patent, I thought it was a sign from my dad to say, give network marketing one more shot, Dave. And I did, and I did. But this time I did it through magazines, and I did it through my sports business, and I did it to where I didn't trust it. So I only worked at 10 hours a week. I only worked at really lightly, knowing I was walking on eggshells. And the next thing you know, the company that I was in just blew out of the water. I mean, it's from August of 2005 when I joined to December of 2008, I already did over $1 million just working at, 10 hours a week, bringing in people, talking to people, not even a lot of people, just duplicating people and putting people under people and duplicating an incredible business. I had over 20,000 distributors in that company between 2005 and 2008. And like I said, I was working it less than 10 hours a week. And the next thing you know, the family sees me flying my mother to a different city with one of her daughters at my little sister's wedding. She's responsible for me meeting my wife Joyce. I got to take her I got to take me and her husband, my sister May, to the Wynn Hotel in Vegas, all accommodations for a week, limo service, airfare first class. And, that was a nice business to get when you're already doing very well in your sports business, and you got all this extra money that you really are working, but you're not really earning or working that hard, because that's the power of network marketing. Well, me and Joyce were in Atlantis in 2007, and it was our third trip actually to Atlantis. And I'm in Atlantis, and the next thing you know, one of the owners of that company comes up to me at that event, and he says he just terminated my best friend. And one of my best friends, I should say. And I looked right at him and I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, he's doing real estate and he violated our policies, Dave, so I wanted you to know first that he's now terminated. Without a letter, without anything, just basically took his check and terminated the guy. And it was just something that I hit the floor. I was shocked. I said, well, that ain't gonna happen. Well, I basically stood up for that guy. Corey and other people on this call know that I didn't show up at the 2008 convention. I didn't show up there. I didn't participate in it. What I did was I went back to my sports. I wanted to open up a store in the name of my father, so I opened up a new big store called Hawks Hobby Heaven. And it was like the biggest shop in the upper Midwest. It was like a Walmart of collectibles. It was just you walk in and it was like a heaven of collectibles and everything you could imagine, from autographs to trains to toys to you name it. It was just a huge hobby shop. And we wanted to make a chain out of that, like KB Toys and Toys R Us. But the economy kind of hit hard in 10, and I just it was a hobby for me. It wasn't a a business. So I really enjoyed it though. But what happens is I walked away from that business for my friend. I walked away and quit doing that business when I was making almost $50,000 a month. And I walked away for the right reasons. I believe that it was for the right reasons, and I gave up on the industry and went and did a little consulting with my friend Mark McCool over at another company called Live Smart, and he became a very good friend of mine, and I trusted Mark. But one of Mark's owners screwed him over too, so it was same story, different day. But then Corey called me back up in 2013, and Corey said, Dave, I got a deal here that's hot, that's big, and Corey's not a guy that gets into a lot of things, but Corey's a guy that I trust and I believed in, to where Corey gave up on that company too because of what they did to my friends, to me, to him, to his family. And so he got into this new company, and I don't know how I did it, but I signed the deal. I got involved. I signed their little join thing, and I got on the line, and I got in. And I never took a penny from any company to ever come in a company. I just said, leave my people alone and let me perform. And basically, I got in that company. I put almost 100 people at $500 into that company in the first 60 days. And a very wealthy, good friend of mine called me and said, Dave, are you an idiot? I mean, enough's enough, man. Are you an idiot? I mean, you're going to go out and make another $100 million like you did in your last company for a company owner that's greedy, that's stupid, that doesn't care about nobody but himself, and you're just going to go make them rich again, and you're going to have a heartbreak. And I want you to walk away, and let's go launch a company. Let's go do this. You're the CEO. You're the CEO. I've seen your business plan. I've seen your dream. I'll back you. We'll go in-house. We'll do this together. I'll do this and that. I'll bring the right technicians out. I'll get the right software guys, and you can just use me as a silent partner, and I'll come in for a small percentage of what you're going to do. And I said, you know what? Well, let's take a look at it. So I looked at it. I took the plunge. And in life, you say to yourself, it's on or it's off. Over that time leading up to this event where we got this call, I got offered master distributorships and Yoli and all these other companies, Zeus and all these different programs that are popping up. They fly you in, they tell you what they want to do, and you just get that warm feeling or you don't get that warm feeling. And I felt the only way that my people could perform and the only way that I could have peace of mind was to know that nobody could kick me out. Nobody could kick my people out. And so what I did was I listened to my buddy. We got the right people together. We got the right consultants together, and Valentus was born in July of 2014. And when we first launched Valentus, we looked at all the trends in the industry, and we looked at energy and weight loss and immune. And I grew up in a big family, so there was always a cold in the house. And the United States has over 1 billion colds a year. And then we looked at the energy market. The energy drink market is an incredible market, and I had an experience right before the launch of this company to where I wanted a healthy energy. So we brought out a healthy energy product, and then I was overweight. So I wanted a good weight loss product. And so we brought out a weight loss product. And all I can say is that Valentus was born, and in the first couple 6 months, it wasn't easy. But we had products that worked. We had products that were all natural, products that had low calories, products that had low sugar, and they worked. And basically, I got involved, and I started taking products, but more or less, I knew that if this company was going to go, if this company was going to fly, if this company was going to do what it was going to do, I had to work every single day. I had to put every hour, every ounce, every minute of my time into getting this off the ground. So I shut down all my sports businesses. I shut down 16,000 auctions on eBay. And for the first time in my life, I was full-time in the network marketing arena, full-time for the first time in my entire life. And believe me, from July 2014 to February 2015, it was a struggle, up and down and this and that and all around, and then I'm getting on the phone with incredible network marketers like Chris Lamont and Peggy and Mark DeSalle and just people that were looking at our company and saying, you know what, Dave, I like what you got here. I like your story. I like what we're doing. I like what's going on, and I'm going to take a look. And then it was a buddy of mine that came into the business right at the beginning of the company, along with Corey Johnson and Rick and a few other friends of mine. But this guy came in and he couldn't do nothing because he was with another opportunity. And he came to me in February and he said, Dave, I really like the story that's about to erupt here. I really like the story that's about to happen here. And, we were doing things that were different. I mean, we had a lock your spot system that was incredible, and we still got that. But we were doing some things where we were trying to bring in social media, doing this, doing that. And one thing I found out about that stuff is you can bring in a lot of people, but it really isn't rock. It really isn't solid. I mean, it gets high attrition. And I basically, December of 2014, I had a product that was in a little capsule. And I took this product over 7 days after Christmas. And I had a 7-day supply, but I only had it for 4 days because I took it. I gained 8 pounds between December 21st and December 27th. I gained 8 pounds from all my sisters being great cooks. Well, at least 6 of them being great cooks. And one of them's got Down syndrome, and she's actually a pretty good cook, too. But anyway, the one thing I could say is my good friend sent me this product, and he asked me to if we could bring this product. And I said, well, it's an absolute phenomenal product. I'll try it. If it sounds like what you're saying, it could be big. And so I tried this product, and I lost my Christmas fat. And I lost my Christmas fat in 5 days, and I had energy like you wouldn't believe. And I said, wow, we've got to have this. But one of my buddies, one of my partners, didn't want a capsule. So he said, we can't have it in a capsule. So we sat down, and I talked to my good friend, and we come up with a coffee. And then we came up with a name, and my one buddy, Ricardo, came up with a name, and it was a name that we didn't like at first, and then boom, it just attracted. It just hit. And the Slim Roast weight loss coffee was born. And I'll tell you, that was March of 2015. And, to be honest with you, this company was really born in March of 2015. The good thing about the first prior 9 months is we worked out all the bugs. If we would have had this product our first month, we probably wouldn't be here right now because we were prepared. We were ready. We had the infrastructure ready for this product, and we had everything ready to go for this type of product. And the reason why we made it that far, the reason why we went that far is because when you look at America's #1 home-based business, eBay, I was one of the top power sellers in the upper Midwest on eBay. And I knew that they were America's #1 home-based business where everybody that from this guy to that guy to this guy to that guy can go to a rummage sale, put stuff on eBay and make a living. I knew that eBay had a turnkey system. And the way they did it is they did most of it online. So we outsourced everything. We did it like eBay did it. And we kind of wanted a business where the distributors relied on the distributors. So we only had online email support. We only had, but now, like I said, now with the coffee, we brought live support. And now with the coffee, we brought on a faster, quicker, better shipper. Now with the coffee, we're bringing on a $20 million corporate facility. That's going to take us to $20 million a month. And I'll tell you, me, myself, experiencing this coffee and being on it for 16 months, I'm down over 90 pounds. So we know this coffee works. And you can go on the website and see my first 3 pictures. It's got to be updated. But you get 24 sticks in this pack. You get 24 sticks. And what we did is we put 24 sticks with a 3-box order, being a 1-month supply. We also have an incredible 12 and 24 program. And I kind of hit a plateau with the coffee, and I got onto that 12 and 24 when Ted launched it. And the next thing you know, I lost another 30 pounds. So I use the 12 and 24. I do the 12 and 24. But the only difference I do is I take 2 sticks of coffee instead of 2, or instead of 1. And believe me, it's incredible. The weight loss has been incredible. And, I go out and I live on 35 acres out here, and I go feed the deer. And next week, the little Bambis will be born. But I carry these big 50-pound bags of corn, cut them open and dump them out in the feeders for the deer. And I was carrying 2 last week, and that's 100 pounds. And I'll tell you, I had one on this shoulder, one on that shoulder. My buddy Luke was with me. And to carry that weight and carry 100 pounds on your shoulders, Luke says to me, just think, Dave, you were carrying that 15 months ago without it on your shoulders. And really, when you stop and think about it, my feet don't hurt no more. I used to have sore feet all the time carrying that weight. And, my feet don't hurt no more. And all I can say is I feel great. My blood pressure, everything's unbelievable. And I'm a true testament to the product. You see a lot of these companies out there that say they got the greatest this, the greatest that, the greatest this, the greatest that, but then the owner weighs 400 pounds and he's saying how great their weight loss coffee is. It's just, believe me, I know for a fact that this coffee works. I know for a fact because I'm living proof that the trim and the immune and the energy and the coffee work, or they wouldn't be here, and they wouldn't have the sales they're doing. You know, it doesn't matter how great, how good, how everything is. If you don't have the sales, you don't have the coffee. So I just wanted to tell people a little bit of my story, a little bit of how Valentus came about, how we got here, and now it's been attracting huge leaders. I mean, we had a leader join us last month that earned $15 million in the industry. And 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, you know, me and this guy kind of, you know, got a little bit face to face because I walked away from that last business. And I literally looked him in the eye and I told him, I said, you know, the only way I'm ever going to be able to do what I'm going to do, man, is if I own my own deal and get away from all these corporate owners that are idiots, man, because someday you're going to be screwed too. Someday you're going to be screwed, and you're going to remember these words. And you know what he said to me? He said, Dave, if that day ever comes, you give me a call. If that day ever comes where you launch your own company, you give me a call. Well, guys, he couldn't get away. He couldn't leave. He was making a lot of money. But you know what? That company finally crapped on him too. And he was at our international convention, and he's with us here. And in the next week or two, you're going to hear who he is, and you're going to see who he is. And it's like Ted, you know, who's been behind the scenes for 6 months, 12 months, 15 months, because you can't do nothing when you're making that kind of money or whatever. But when somebody, you know, hurts you or kicks you to the ground or kicks you to the curb, you always got to have a backup plan. You always got to have that. Well, this guy didn't have me as a backup plan. He had me as his future plan. And all I could say is, we're going to welcome him in, and you wouldn't believe some of the people that are attracting to this company. Like I said on the beginning of the call, the numbers speak for itself. Like I said in the beginning of this call, the numbers, the numbers are record-breaking month after month after month. For those of you that were on live stream, for those of you that were at the convention, you've seen a corporate team on stage. You've seen 8, 9 guys standing on stage. A couple of the gals weren't there, but 8 or 9 guys were standing on stage. And these guys ain't network marketers. These guys are the best at what they do. These guys are the best at finance. These guys are the best at expansion. These guys are the best when it comes to oil fields. These guys are the best when it comes to protecting the golden goose. And these guys are the best, like Bob Novell at announcing at a convention behind the scenes when he doesn't have a sore throat. Do you realize the guy did all 3 days of announcing and he had a sore throat and he had a cracky throat the whole time and he got through it? That's what Valentus is about. Guys that'll take a bullet, guys that won't care, guys that'll go to the ground and say, Dave, I'm going to do this for you. Dave, I'm going to be here for you. And Dave, we're going to make this happen for the Valentus family. Ted and Michelle Wilson, I tell you, people can say, well, Dave's biased towards Ted and Michelle Wilson. No, I'm not. No, I'm not, but Ted's a giver. Ted's given me more to this company in the last 6 months than I could give to myself. That the guy is absolutely incredible. He stood up. He took the torch. He said, get out of my way, Dave. Tell me what we got to do. Let me put it this way. Let me put it that way. You deliver it, and it's going to be a gold record. And, I truly believe that our convention in Vancouver shows the type of company we are, shows where we're going, shows what we're about. Now, picture that convention in 2 years. Picture that convention in 2 years with 10,000 people at it. Picture that convention in 5 years with 25,000 people at it. I'll tell you, go online, type it in, MLM rankings, Valentus #1 for fastest growth in the country. 867 companies, and we're ranked #1 for the fastest growing company over a 6-month span. I'll tell you what, all I can say to you guys, everybody on this call, I wanted to get this done in a half hour. I went a little bit over. I just wanted people on the call today to know who you're dealing with, who you're with, that it's okay to have your heart broken, because mine's been broken many times. But the one thing you need when you get your heart broken is you need that person to go to. You need that person to say, you know what, it's got to get better. And I still got my mother. She's 84 years old. She lives with my little sister, Annie, who's 43 years old with Down syndrome. And I'll tell you, my mom and my wife, Joyce, are my rocks. And the one thing I can say, with my little sister, Annie, who's 43, she's probably one of the smartest kids I've ever met in my entire life, because she loves everybody, she cares about everybody, and she's repetitious. She's repetitious. She does things over and over and over again. If you move something in the room, she'll move it back. If Joyce goes in a room and cleans the room, she moves it all back. And I told my mom, I said, Ma, Someday, if you ever let me bid her in network marketing is a repetitious thing. And my little sister would easily build this business to a diamond level with me helping her, with Joyce helping her. But I'll tell you what, I promised my mom I'd never do that. But I could say this, this business is not hard. This business is simple. This business is easy. But it's as easy as you want to make it. The one thing I took out of our convention from Bruce Matheson, when he said he was talking to a good friend of his, a speaker, he said, if you want to get by easy in life, then do everything that's hard. If you want to get by hard in life, then do everything that's easy. And I really, it kind of dawned on me when it hit me in the head. And I said, really, I've really done a lot of the things that are hard, and I don't care about the consequences because I'm the type of guy that says, you know what, if it is to be, it's up to me. But the beautiful thing about Valentus, it's not up to me. It's up to the distributors. It's up to the distributor base. It's up to what we've done here. And we're going to be the first company out there that, how do I say this? A company built by distributors for distributors. I was on the phone the other night with Chris Lamont and Paul Moore. They don't even know this yet. But I was talking with Paul Moore and Chris Lamont. And Paul Moore says to me, hey, Dave, I don't want to impersonate Paul Moore because I impersonate a lot of people. But he says, hey, Dave, out there, everybody's talking about Donald Trump and what he's saying and what his motto and how he's saying he's going to make the United States great again. Well, I'm out there saying, Dave Jordan's going to make the network marketing industry great again. And I'll tell you, Paul, when you said that, I had a tear in my eye because that is the very reason why we started Valentus, to make the industry great again. And I knew, and I know, and I say, if everybody sees and knows and sees where we're going, and knows that they can build a check here, and knows tomorrow if their child died, or if their mother and father died, or if they died. I'm not going to get on them next month if they're not working their business, if they went into depression like I did for 2 weeks. I'm not going to get on them. And if something happened to that person with the check, I'm going to make sure his wife, his kid, his daughter, I'm going to make sure that they get that check. And that is a culture that the network industry has never seen. There's some people on this call that know me personally, and they're listening right now, and they know that every single word that I'm saying is the truth, that God's honest truth, because not to be greedy or hog a call, they've experienced me helping them like that. So I know that they hear this, I know that they know, and I know that people out there can see exactly where this company's going and can see exactly where Valentus is going to be in the next 12 months, man. I'll tell you what, jump on board if you're new here. Get a hold of the person that put you on this call. The timing is better now than it was 15 months ago because now we're here, now we're a presence, and now we're here with the leadership of Ted and Michelle Wilson, Corey and Renee Johnson, my buddy John, all the leaders here, Chris Lamont, Peggy and Mark Cassell. We're knocking this out of the park. And everybody in the industry is starting to hear about us. Everybody in the industry is going to know who we are. And everybody in the industry is going to get a handshake from me because I don't look down on anybody. I look at everybody like my mom and dad. They raised 14 kids. They were never on welfare. And my dad worked 3 jobs so I could be here today to say, hey, I got his work ethic. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again Tuesday or Monday morning. We'll see you again Monday morning. Corey will be live on that call. And then we'll see you again Tuesday night with Ted Wilson. So, guys, I really appreciate you getting on the call today. I appreciate you hearing a little bit of what I got to say. And hopefully you took something out of this to really, take Valentus in your mind and say, you know what, I can go down the road with Dave. Thanks, everybody. You have a great day.